Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Gail. Happy birthday to you. One more time.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gail. I've known you for so long. And I wish you a long life ahead.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Birthday I've ever had.
Aww, you're sweet.
Since we have such a large crowd here, I used to see her every week. When I worked at the Vineyard Gazette as a reporter and photographer, one of my great deals, was to go visit the courthouse to pick up the court records and have conversations with different people. And Gail was always there.
A
always
friendly
wonderful,
face.
Always smiling. Not everybody going through the courthouse has a smile.
That's very important.
So true.
Smiles are scarce in that building. So when you come upon somebody, she would smile at me, and
Would she?
That's
yeah,
right.
there were a few of them, and,
You're talking about your alter ego, would she? I love it.
and that would color my day.
That's right.
I can say that.
And I've
You
known
have-
Gail for a long time.
I was
I've
gonna
known your
say,
mom.
Oh my God, her mom is one.
That's right. So when we first moved to the island, our first winter rental was right across the street from your mom. Yeah.
And her sister
North William Street.
You were on that corner though, weren't you, on William?
North William Street. It was the Hammond House at the time, the brick
oh,
one.
That one. Oh, okay, I guess I wasn't around then.
Yeah.
When you first moved here.
Yeah.
She's I mean, for those who don't, she's well rooted in the history of this island. Her family is deeply rooted in this, and so it's enormously
Gail,
an
you and I have
honor.
to talk.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
That's
an
right.
enormous honor to have you here. No, I mean I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love you guys. You know? I mean,
We love you
that's
too.
all there is to it.
This is a love fest.
I know.
You
Welcome
feel
to Martha's Vineyard
appropriately.
Museum. This is an island love story, and everybody's involved.
That's right. That's right.
Thing.
It's a love thing.
Oh, that's a great
Absolutely. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm Laurel. I'm the director of programming and audience engagement, and this is Julia. She is my right and left and hand, stands ahead of me and back of me, and I am nothing without her. And we're so grateful that you're here.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
so
great.
special, and I'm a big believer in the right people show up,
That's
and,
right.
and it becomes the right moment. And these two right here are emphasizing, aren't they the cutest things?
Those are adorable.
And they have island roots as well, because the creator of these, Nanny's Nitty Bits, is a friend of mine who went to high school with me here on the island. Yeah, yeah.
Right
Jeannie
down to the
Crosby
best.
Zoozle. I don't know if you knew Jeannie Crosby Zoozle. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah.
They're so cute.
You know, isn't that fun?
Each of you, I have a long history with myself, and you each have your own island story, and it was not lost on me when you, with your devilish little giggle, said to me one day, "I met someone," and I was like, "And you know him?" And I was like, "Who?" And then she says, "Margell Lovewell," and I literally almost burst into tears because it was one of those things where nothing more perfect could have happened than you two meeting. The two of you, no lie, you were made from the same cloth up there, and your souls went out like this.
Glad.
Yes. and you came to this earth, to this island, and you found each other later in life. But my God, what a perfect match.
Yes.
Right down to the same
Giggle.
effervescence and giggle for life. Exactly.
That's right.
So I just want to start with a little bit of background. Which one of you has been on this island longer?
Ooh. Well, that's going to be tricky math because of, well, you tell your story first.
All right. I'll try to keep short. I'm a descendant of an old vineyard family, the Pease family.
Okay, you
the
win.
Family that,
Okay, yeah.
Pease family, which are two families that settled Martha's Vineyard, the Mayhews and the Pease, if you're already aware of that. And I'm a descendant of the Pease family. I was born outside of Boston in Needham, but my birth announcement was in the Vineyard Gazette. The announcement by my great-grandmother. She made the announcement in the Vineyard Gazette. In those days, the Gazette covered birth announcements.
I hope you have a copy of that.
Yeah, and they had the wrong date, but anyway. But the good news, so I came like I would come here immediately with my family, coming down here each summer forever and ever and ever, and I moved here year round 1978. Your story's pretty darn good,
It's
though.
similar.
Are we revealing ages here, or does it not matter?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Are we revealing ages
I'm
here?
Route 66.
I'm
Route
70 I'm 72, pretty soon to be 73.
When's your birthday?
May 9th.
A little Taurus action.
We got friends in the audience who
No,
are beyond
Aquarius.
who are sitting there with their
Just had
notebooks.
my
They want to
birthday.
know. What day is your birthday?
January 28th. I just had my
You just
birthday.
had it.
Yeah.
Aquarius. I'm married to an Aquarius. You're an Aquarius. They're cool.
Oh,
I agree.
They'll go down any road with you.
That's right.
but so my coming to the island is a very similar way. My grandparents had a house here up on Lighthouse Road in Aquina, and my banker grandfather had, heard, I had this cool place from New York City. He's, come to this cool place, it's Martha's Vineyard, and was like, yeah, it is a cool place, and ended up buying a house up there for nothing, how it was back in those days. And
What year?
so he bought that in the 40s because my mom was young. So every summer, since my mom was young, they would come. And so when I was born, 6 months old, I'm at the vineyard vacationing, of course. So I grew up here as a summer kid up in Aquina for my whole childhood, which I've got to say, the hardship. I'm looking out across the Cuttyhunk and the islands. Oh, this amazing, expansive view down to Menemsha and all. That was the view that we had looking outside was just unbelievable. And played on the beach all day. And then I moved here when I was in high school, 10th grade. So 1973 we moved here year round.
And you graduated from the high school here?
Yep.
Where did you graduate high school?
I almost went to this high school, but I was a high school dropout at the time. I had dropped out of high school and was pushing a folk music career. I ended up getting my GED, high school diploma, out of Pennsylvania, staying with a lovely family who insisted that I go back to school, finish my high school education, and I would continue with my goal of being a writer as Plan B.
When did
Plan A.
photography come into your life?
What?
When did photography come into your life?
Photography came in my life when I was a child. I had an interest in astronomy, and I was in the elementary school, and I would go to school and tell people what I saw through my telescope at night. I'd say, well, I just saw the moons of Jupiter, and nobody believed me. So I took up photography to take pictures through the telescope and take pictures of the craters of the moon and stuff. And that,
But I love the story of how you got the telescope. You got to tell that story too.
boy.
He's a kid. He's a kid. How
I
do you
was
get
a
a telescope?
paper boy. I used to deliver the newspapers in the community that I lived in, and it was, remember the days when people delivered newspapers? I delivered the afternoon route, and I also shoveled snow. I don't know how many kids do that now, but the idea was to accumulate enough money, and I did, to buy this beautiful telescope,
Isn't that cool?
which I had no right to own, and then later went on to...
Obviously you did because you earned it.
That's
you
right.
know?
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the Vietnam War broke open, and I started shifting my photography to other things that were going on in the world around me. And I went overseas. My father worked overseas, and it was a bumpy
Was that the
road
beginning
for
of
a
you-
bumpy road for a child to go through. No child should ever have gone through the things that I went through as a kid. And so I'm so fortunate that I kept my kids out of that stuff. But all of the creative things that I began with as a child, music, photography, astronomy, writing, began when I was young. Those are my rocks. Those are my solid. The world may change around me, but having those creative pursuits was what grounded me, kept me away from all of the bad drugs that were floating around in my generation, kept me away from all the troubled people that could have damaged me. So it was music. Isn't that amazing? I mean,
It's a good thing.
my message to anyone who has any affiliation with children, take it seriously, because you may be a key part of their story as they grow older, because you said something kind to them, you said something warm-hearted to them. And throughout my journey through my life, amazing people. And I can't say that I'm standing here by myself. I'm standing here with 100 people behind me. And then she shows up.
So talk about that moment your eyes found each other.
Well, I found him on the internet.
I
I like to make a
stalker.
joke of that. I like to make a joke of that because it was during COVID, and my husband had passed away, and so it was.
He was a wonderful man. We have
He
to
was
say
a good
that.
guy. He
Acknowledge
was a
that.
good guy. He was a very
Really
good guy and a
super
good dad
sweet
to
guy.
my 2 kids, and so it was like about 9 months after that, and it was during COVID time, and it wasn't all opened up yet. We were all like, "What do we do now?" How many nights have we been in our house? So I was looking at my phone for the umpteenth time because I don't feel like watching TV again. So I'm looking, what are my friends doing on Facebook? And this guy comes across my feed. He's doing a live performance on Facebook. Because why is he doing that? Because there's no gigs, you can't go out and play anywhere. So why not just sort of practice in front of the camera? Hey guys, how you doing? That was kind of how it was. And it was like I knew who he was. I knew Mark Allen Lovewell as the friendly neighborhood photographer who would show up whenever I was doing a performance. But I had never seen him do his sea shanty singing and stuff, and I knew that he did it, and I was like, hey, I got time to kill, why don't I watch a little bit of this? Fully expecting that I'm going to watch it for, 30 seconds, and then I'm going to give it a little heart, and then I'm going to keep scrolling, right? 45 minutes later, my cheeks are sore because I'm laughing and smiling so much at the joy that this guy had in sharing his music. And it was so lovely and just so fun because he was clearly just having a fabulous time that, he's like, well, you want to know what I'm doing? Sign up for my free newsletter on my website, markallenlovewell.com. I'm okay, markallenlovewell.com. I'm looking it up and I'm like, okay, sign up for the free newsletter. And I wrote him an email that said, I signed up for your thing because I really enjoyed your show, and I would do that for any of my friends because I have friends of performers because that's my people. So I would, and he wrote me back, and then I wrote him back, and then he wrote me back. We just started this writing
Correspondence, like love letters, modern day love letters.
It was.
And I was very much aware of who she was years before, because as a journalist for the newspaper, whenever we covered events, photographing or writing stories, this lovely lady was singing. People loved to listen to her, and when she sang, there was such expression, such, I'm going to use your word, joy, in what she was doing, and with her audience. And this was, so this is a lady that was distinguished, hugely distinguished, and I won't say I hovered around you or anything or followed you, but I was aware of who she was, and I was aware that her husband had died, and what a sad thing that was. And so things tend to play themselves out. An
But
amazing
it was
journey.
a very slow and very respectful and slow kind of coming together, which was really, really nice. And then he asked me to go out for coffee and go out for a sail in his boat.
It's
And
so wholesome. It is so wholesome and old-fashioned and beautiful.
The encounter, the time we got together was to have coffee at Ocean Park. First to meet at Mocha Mott's. that was how our email exchange or phone call. Did we talk? I know phone call. It's just like let's pick a neutral, safe place. You know, the bandstand.
Were you afraid, Mark, of her choice?
Well, I mean, I'm a sarcastic, crazy guy, but I would say that I could just visualize in my
You wanted
doubtful
witnesses.
world that she could jump up out of the bench and run to her car and drive away at any moment she needed to.
I love it.
I mean, when you get to... She's a very special lady from the beginning, and so I had to be I needed to be, I must be, because of all my journeys through life. You know, which you need to start out treating them nice.
What do you mean
Start out, right? So
Exactly.
we all heard that right now.
And people know that I occasionally swear, and the people know that I'm a salty sailor. So I was on notice to at least clean up
Straighten
my
your bow
act.
tie and
Clean up my act for a minute.
I love the multiplication of joy here, though, you know, because you both use the word for each other, and everybody who knew you before we knew you as a couple would use the same exact words to describe both of you.
Well, that's funny because Judy Crawford, who some of you may know, who both of us knew separately, and again, I did the same thing, saying, "Oh, I know this guy, and we've been seeing each other, and you know this guy," and I said his name, and she said, "Oh, you two are such joy." That's exactly what she said.
See,
That's
it's
exactly
like
what she
perfect.
said.
It's perfect. And then, so just even on that experiencing life level where you really take in mindfully everything you do and you do everything with intention separately, then you come together and you merge your talents for music and storytelling and then voila, look at what you're doing
Sounds
today.
like Jack and Jill, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
How did that start to manifest?
Well, she wrote a song. Want to hear it?
I did write a song.
She
Yes.
wrote a song.
Early in the process of us sort of, you know.
It has remarkable. If you listen to the lyrics, the melody is beautiful, wonderful, terrific. But you got to bring this closer.
Oh yeah. We'll turn it. We'll turn it. How's that?
This
I got it.
she wrote this, tells her story in an amazing, magical way, and answers your question. It's almost that you were like.
That's right. All right. On the Isle of Martha's Vineyard lives a jack of many trades. He masters what he learns, wants to be young. He's skilled upon the land and sea. He even knows the stars you see. He sings his tales with heart to everyone.
Now on this same dear island lives a Jill with many too. She's mastered all her hacks, she's worn a ton.
Yeah, that's all.
She carves and sews, her flute she blows, and sailing stuff she even knows. Then sings her songs with heart to everyone. Is this answering your question? Now sometimes when two people, both capable and strong, get together, they rub each other wrong. They might think it's a test.
A jealousy fest.
Who's the best? When they really should just sit and sing a song. So what do you think this Jack and Jill did on the day they met?
much the same. Oh, dang.
Did they try to top the other, or see who boasts the most?
No, they listened and they laughed and then they sang a song of harmony, of rich lives lived and found. Two paths joined together, heading on a whole new way. Each takes a turn to lead, then settles back to play. Singing harmony, share stories with laughter and love. Share stories, building new ones with laughter and love. Thank you.
I don't want to come back up here and ruin that.
Aww.
Because that answered the question perfectly. And then these two were born. I mean, this is how deep their love goes. They're in doll form. I love it. This is a true island love story. I mean, you both had these parallel lives, and like you were just saying, in that song, your experiences, you came together, and it seems like you easily found your ways, just sharing your past, creating this little present, so you're prepared for this new future together. You know what I mean? Not to be too poetic, but I mean, it's...
I can offer this thought that we both agree on, is that neither of us were ready for each other years ago. That our roads to getting to meet each other were an essential ingredient. Certainly in my case, I would say for you.
Absolutely.
I had to do all kinds of things, and I have wonderful kids. I have wonderful relationship with my family members and whatever, and people who've come and gone in my life. I had to rise to meet this lovely lady.
I feel the same. I had to be ready.
This is a very unusual quality in human beings, where there is such a mutual respect and such a... I don't want to sound pessimistic or cynical or anything like that, because I do believe that everybody's got the best intentions, and they want to lead with kindness and lead with love. But there's this old-fashioned kind of sensibility, Mark, that you bring to the table with this, I've got to bow to the lady. There's this chivalric, modern chivalric kind of Renaissance style approach to the way you brought this lady into your life.
That's very true. That's a really cool way of
Does that sound like
putting it.
Fisherman's Love Song?
Yeah, it does. It sounds like another song.
Um,
You're really good at that.
I don't remember what key we
So
did.
this song, I actually heard him singing it on his show before I was a part of his show, and I was like, "Wow, that sounds so nice." So see if you could just picture why I was thinking that as he sings this song. And
Yeah.
I get to later on when I get to be added, and I get to add a little fiddle. So I'm gonna add a little fiddle.
So this is a song called Fisherman's Love Song, and it's a song that I wrote 5 years ago as a way to tribute Menemsha couples, fishermen couples. I'm thinking of, and you may as well know who I'm talking about. I'm thinking of the Poole family. I'm thinking of Everett Poole and Virginia Poole. I'm
Donald
thinking
and Dorothy.
I'm thinking of Louis Larson and his wife Mary. I'm thinking of Donald and his
Donald
wife.
and Dorothy, yeah.
And,
exactly.
and the list, and Jimmy Morgan and Roberta.
Yeah.
These, in the old vineyard, these were the most esteemed people in our community. And they were deeply involved in a lot of different things. They were involved in town politics. They helped the towns run. The ladies helped the towns run. The fishermen would go out on their boats, and sometimes the women would go along or whatever. But there was just an amazing story of a community that would be passed from one generation to another. And then I have to add this.
Fishing.
And then I have to add this other thought: is that there are no love songs written for old people.
Old fuddy-duddy Fisher people. Well, now there is one.
And so how do you know? So anyhow,
So he did
and
it.
this song.
I love this song. I love it.
So I wrote this before I met her, but so often we sing it and we look at each other.
How'd you do that?
How did I do that?
That's right. That's right.
And just listen to the lyrics again. In every song that Molly and I did, the lyrics are, yeah, we love the melody. The melody's a cool thing. But in folk music tradition, the lyrics are the story.
It's telling the story. That's right.
No, I don't use a harmonica on this song. That's right.
You're right.
I
But
don't.
you can throw it in if you want to. Why not? The more the merrier.
I'll do a little. I'm so excited
It
about
sounds so
you folks
good.
being here. There's so many people in the audience.
I know.
Hey, it's not the
It's a raucous
It's
crowd.
the quality.
Fire burns bright in the farmhouse fireplace. Closing the logbook, you start to say, fishing boats are iced in, and the snow outside calls me. It's a red, late afternoon, I hear a church bell ring. Hold this candle up high. It's a way to light your night. We've fished together for a long time. We fished together for a long time. It's icicle season, tree branches are hanging. A smoke trail rises up over the hill. You said goodbye to summer when we stacked all that firewood. Time to nestle amid the chill. There's plenty of good reason to hold this candle up high. It's a way to light our night. We fish together for a long time. We fish together for a long, long time. Your poetry warms me as frost covers the window of a winter, a frozen harbor by the sea. Wouldn't it be merry if I kissed you again? Sitting with your blanket and your hot cup of tea. Sitting with your blanket and your hot cup of tea. There's plenty of good reason to hold this candle up high. It's a way to light our night. We fish together for a long, full time.
change, you had that kind of Blue Note type of thing where you go to a place I didn't expect you to go on that one part where it goes long time, and you're kind of
Yeah.
the
That's
drama
fun.
came through on that change, and it was
Just like that minor chord.
yes,
Oh.
the minor chord that just tells the story of the longevity and that positivity. It's a melancholy kind
There's a
of
pathos.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It just captures
Heartstrings.
the length of the life and love that they have, and obviously, you know,
And these are real people. These are real people that I've known. You know, these are, oh my God, and you know too. And how do we honor that? Because I mean, I don't want to be negative and say that we're not getting those people anymore. But the idea was that in this island community has changed so dramatically, and at my age, I can tell it wasn't as good as it was back then. But you get that, and I don't have to say that. However, I just feel that. The Larson family, Mary ran town hall. She ran the town, right? I mean, she was Mary Larson was awesome.
Dorothy and
Dorothy
Virginia
wrote
were both
poetry,
writers.
wrote for the paper. She wrote for the museum. There's stories that she wrote. There are books she wrote, and her husband was out fishing. And that's not a bad thing on an island, on a coastal community. People, when I was a kid growing up, am I overspeaking my time? When I was growing up as a kid, standing on the waterfront, going down to the waterfront, I aspired to be like them, to be a fisherman, to have my own fishing boat, and to go out and bring home fish for my family and for the community. And I watched as people would go down to the docks when they came in and unloaded their fish. And these people weren't just coming there to say hi. It was an amazing period in the history of this island.
Oh yeah.
And
Which reminds
treasure.
me of coming a little full circle of my grandfather, who was the reason that we came to the island, and he had a friendship with Donald Poole. So you can't imagine two more different backgrounds for these two people. One's a banker from New York City, and one is a fisherman here on Martha's Vineyard, and they become really, really good friends, and they keep up the conversation throughout the year, and the wives, the families get together, the whole thing. Are we doing that song?
well, I wanted to just draw attention.
We have a song
before
about
you-
that too.
Well, this might feed into this because when I was sitting there, and I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody here, but there was a simplicity of living that is coming through that we don't have today. Today is so complex, and it feels like a friendship like that could exist because your values aren't so. They're more present, more attainable. There's no second guessing. There may be, if somebody offends another person, they just rattle it out together and then they skip off together arm in arm because they're not. It's about building something. It's about understanding something. It feels like, and so that simplicity that you're conveying through the song just feels really good and like we need it today.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah,
you have another song.
Well, we have
And I'll
that
let you-
song. We could sing that song if that's a good one. We could go to that one. Let's see, Two Friends.
Well, the good news that just to I hope there's so many of you out there that you go around and tell people what you did tonight. You listen to live music.
There's
You
something
listen-
in this room right now, Mark, that you two are creating that is very special. And I think that everybody in this room right now is feeling it, and we're going to leave. And when you were singing that last song, I just felt this really special thing happening. And I just kind of felt the notes and the sentiment.
Aw.
Well, I'm
And
stating
energy
the obvious.
expands, and
I'm
I
stating the
just-
obvious is that I think that there is a place on Martha's Vineyard where you can go to hear live music, where you're not a lot of beer glasses banging against each other. There's not a lot of talking and shouting where you can't hear the lyrics. The end of this week, we're flying out to Oregon, going out to Oregon to perform for the Fisher Poets Gathering.
Wow.
In Astoria, right along
And
the
this is
Columbia
my
River.
8th year, Molly's 4th.
And it's the 27th annual or something.
Yeah,
They've been doing
27th
it quite a
annual.
lot
And
of
look it
years.
up, Fisher Poets.
Oh yeah,
These are commercial fishermen
and we're going to
who
be
write
live streamed
poetry.
Saturday
These are
night.
commercial fishermen who write poetry, who gather together and they love Molly.
Well, we love them. They're amazing. These are the
But the only reason,
stories.
the key reason I want to say to you is that audience is unbelievable. They sit together to hear people read poetry.
And it's kind of like a fringe festival. So
bars
it's
and
different
taverns and
venues all over
restaurants.
town. It takes over the town.
9 venues in the town. It's taken over by the Fisher Poets Gathering. More than close to 100 performers show up. And you can sit and drink your beer or drink whatever it is you're drinking, and it is quiet.
Yeah, people
There
want
was
to
talking
hear
in between
stories.
the performers, and each performer does 20 minutes. They just get up and do a thing. And you walk out of there in amazement.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that these are actual commercial fisher people who have stories from their time at sea, and they're all over the map as far as what they're
Alaska.
talking about and where they've come from, humorous or are they serious and scary, you know. It's all over the map, all over different stuff. There's
Maine.
poets,
One
there's
from
storytellers, there's songwriters, there's all.
We're representing
it's
New
really
England.
cool.
As,
Is it-
I don't,
Yeah, we're representing New England.
Is it kind of like an open mic type thing, or do you get a scheduled time?
well, they give us
Oh,
a scheduled time, and
You
there's
have to be allowed in.
There's an MC who moves you through it.
Okay, it's a big
And
deal.
every time there's so many stories I could go beyond this evening, but the idea is that they would love to do it here because the fishing community is not what it is for what is out there, and
I was just
and the
my brain was
economic
trying to
engine.
something here.
And I've had conversations with a number of people.
Yeah, it would be
and
so
maybe,
cool.
Maybe you and I can talk about it later, but the idea is that we have poets, Steve Ewing, we have so many
Yeah.
talented, creative people. And the question that we need to ask ourselves is, can we pool together our resources to put together an event, maybe just a small event, and do it so well and fill the hall and feel really warm and successful and so, because what you do when you do an event like this, what you do when you do an event like tonight, is that you raise the bar, you raise the community awareness of the fishing community around us, the maritime history and heritage of us. The building is essential. The sculpture, the artwork, everything that goes into this museum is essential to sharing the story of Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, what a backdrop.
However, you have to bring people to acknowledge that, to bring people together to know who are hungry for it. And I know that Martha's Vineyard is like that, but it's hard, you know. It's hard.
That's right.
What are we gonna do? Oh, we're
We're
gonna
gonna do this song. We're gonna do this song.
I have a problem. I talk too long.
You're a
why we
storyteller.
love you and
You're a
know you.
storyteller.
Exactly.
A passionate storyteller. All right. Gotta warm it up. It's cold.
like an old
It's hard to
cartoon.
play a cold instrument. So my flute was cold.
Did you play for Bucks?
Again, listen to the lyrics of the song. It's a great song.
It's a story about my grandpa. All right. Yeah, here we go. Two friends so different, two friends the same, drawn to the sea that calls their name. One came, worked to get away, one came, worked his job to stay.
Two friends.
Two friends so different and the same. Jack goes off to work by train, pounding pavement in the city. Donald might find wind and rain pounding on his deck, not free. One goes home at night by rail, one goes home by sea. Both go home to lovely wives and a family. Two friends so different,
Two friends.
friends the same, drawn to the sea that calls their name.
One came.
One came, worked to get away.
One came.
One came, worked his job to stay.
Two friends.
Friends so different and the same. Jack They share time along the dock, leads to time shared out at sea. Then time with their lovely wives, they are family. Two friends so different, two friends the same, drawn to the sea that calls their name. One came worked to get away, one came and worked his job to stay. Two friends so different and the same.
They met at Menamsha, their pipes filled the shack with smoke. Chewing the fat, sharing a story, wisdom or a joke. Both have knowledge for the other, each an unlikely brother, bonded by their deep affection and their island ways.
Two friends so different, two friends the same, drawn to the sea that calls their name.
One came,
One came worked to get away, one came worked his job to stay.
two
Two
friends.
friends so different and the same. Two friends so different yet the
Yet the Friends so different. They're the same.
Did you write that?
I wrote that song. Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, the first time you wrote about your love
Yeah,
affair,
uh-huh,
okay,
uh-huh.
you talked about sailing, and
Yeah.
you were singing about she knows about sailing too, and I just want to
Oh, it's time for a prop.
see something you might not know about Molly here. She's a hooker.
So she started doing this, and this is Mark's cat boat, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Is that a cat boat?
That's right. It is a cat boat, and this is
So-
his logo that he made when you were in college, right?
I was in college when I came with that logo.
And
Oh my
it's a
gosh.
guitar and a banjo and an anchor behind it. So that's he's got that on his sailboat. So if you ever
Google
see
my
it,
name, if you Google my name, look it up, you'll see I use it all over the place.
yeah. And if you ever see that boat out at Edgartown Harbor somewhere, you just wave to us.
It's a 22
I just
foot-
learned how to do this. There's a fabulous hooking group on the island. They come here sometimes and hang out, and it's the easiest thing to do. Just pull a little loop with a little hook that looks like a crochet hook, and then just keep making more of them.
Beautiful. But you're designing the picture?
I just yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's so fun. It's so fun.
I'll take.
I was inspired.
Yep. They sometimes they merge with a group called Strippers, right?
Yeah, those are those paint peelers. That's right.
Does anybody have any questions or anything? I just want to make sure you feel that you're a piece of this.
That's right. That's right.
Because you're an essential part of this evening, a living,
That's right.
breathing story. And
Get a drink.
as you see us talking earlier before the show, Laurel and I, we're lining up events for the coming year, so we won't be far. I live right down the street. You drive by my house if you drive by the thrift shop. I'm right across the street, and we're doing a couple of things on the Cape this summer. We're performing on the Cape, and
Yeah.
we do
Home concerts too.
home concerts. We're going to go do one now after this. We're going
Yeah.
to go to somebody home. You know, they get a couple of their friends together and then we perform. We did one in Connecticut.
Yeah, just
The
last
lady who
weekend.
made those-
Who made the little dolls?
Yeah, so it's a very warm-hearted thing.
Yeah.
These are the cutest things I've ever
I
seen.
know, aren't they?
That's adorable. Yes, yeah, right down to the vest and the hair.
And those two have been called for. We're taking them to California with us.
Oh,
they're
to
they're
give them
going
to the
my
grandkids.
grandchildren.
These two?
Yeah.
I have twins. I have
That's right.
twin grandchildren.
So that
My
they
brothers are
think of
are
us.
twins.
Play with.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, that's right.
And they're about 3 years old now. Anyway.
yeah.
So we're going to give them, and boy and a girl. So it's like,
Oh,
So they can have the
isn't that
the
fun?
Molly
That
Mark
is
dolls.
really-
Nico,
how perfect is that?
Right, and they're pretty indestructible. You can, throw
Oh,
them across the
yeah.
room and they'll survive.
Absolutely. They're They're well constructed.
Yeah.
I do have a question. How would one join the live stream of your Fisher Poets?
Oh, that's a really good question. So we will, we have it available. It has been publicized on Facebook at the Sunday at Sea Facebook page, but we will make sure that it gets on our website. We have a mollyandmark.com website, and we also have Mark Allen Lovewell website that you keep things very up to date with that. We can get a phone thing happening here where we can take down your email. We could email everybody because I know there's other people. We have a mailing list that we send out very occasionally, but it's full of all kinds of cool, fun stuff. And
Your newsletter's fun.
they're good. They're fun, right?
Thank you.
Good storytelling and good
I
photos
have,
and
it's
stuff.
amazing, you know,
we
so
can, we can make sure we
wonderful to
can
have a
get the
live
links in.
audience, but
Very fun.
it's hard in this new age, post, you know, it's hard getting people to come out. And what has been absolutely remarkable, and she spoke earlier of how I got started with doing the Facebook live shows that she followed, is that I lost all my performing, all my incentive to go perform anywhere because there was nowhere that you could perform.
Yeah,
And-
COVID shut
and-
everything down.
And what is so also remarkable about that COVID experience we all went to is that the frequency for which I can find an audience, that we can find an audience, is down very low. So live on shows that we do, putting them online. We did programs at the Federated Church during the summer, Sunday at Sea. We do whenever we perform anywhere, we bring these cameras with us and whatever, and we actually
We did Christmas
believe
at
it or
Sea
not-
at the Federated Church. That was so much
Believe
fun.
it or not, that
With their
this-
choir and the whole thing. It was really fun.
Oh my gosh,
when
That's
I
really fun.
started the Facebook Live show, I could get up to 1,000 people watching the show.
This
From
is-
Martha's Vineyard,
yeah,
people I
COVID.
did not know. And occasionally a few people I did know. But most of the people that were drawn to my show were from afar. And what a
We still have
magical
those
relationship that was, that became, that grew. And I got her. and on top of that, and then I still have people following us in Texas, Arizona,
Down in the Chesapeake,
Oregon,
Germany,
Germany.
England.
Did you hear that, Germany? England.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a
All over the
magical
country.
story because you just saw what we're doing. We're not doing any, we don't have amplifiers and amplification
Right.
and a crew of people running in and out the door helping us stage everything. We go set up our stuff ourselves. So there's something out there in the world that is we're feeding or we're hopefully helping or help.
Yeah,
And
but
that gives-
I have to say that I think that sometimes we find an audience that didn't know they were missing this kind of thing because music so much has grown into, oh, let's have a big loud band in the background. Let's come and have your restaurant meal and you're talking and you're chatting over the poor guy who's trying to play a few tunes on his guitar. You don't really listen to them, but you know what I mean? So music has become more of a background thing and it's a sad thing sometimes. And then as people actually listen, it's like, oh, I enjoyed that. It's kind of a surprise then. It's a rediscovery,
And we
which is
do
lovely.
get financial support for what we do through Patreon. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Patreon. Go look it up. It's a way you can support local artists, $1 or $2 or $3 a month or
Yeah.
something. People make
a little
contributions.
something, yeah.
And that through a collective we're actually... And
And
this has
same-
been going on for years.
and same thing with
I'm
Substack, too.
not buying a house. I'm not buying. I'm already where I am, and we're doing what we do. However, the magic is amazing to me. I'm doing what I love to do
Well,
with a
I gotta
lady
say-
that I love, and we have an amazing relationship with you right now, and we have a relationship with so many others.
And
It's
I gotta give you a lot of credit for the fact that you could go into the I'm an old fuddy duddy thing, and you could have retired and just been sitting there not doing anything. But
How
no,
you were around, Molly?
well, before me, you like, okay, I have no gigs. Not everybody was out starting their own Facebook show. Not everybody was doing that. That took a lot of research and figuring out and practice with gear and messing up and doing all that trial by error just to be able to keep fresh and just keep playing and keep doing it. And so
It's very
kudos
true.
to
It's
you.
not easy.
Kudos to you. It's not easy.
Well, you know this in the radio business. You know, you were so many years in the radio business. You don't see your audience. You don't shake hands with your audience, but they have ways of letting you know that they're listening.
Yeah.
And,
That's it.
and it's an amazing, magical relationship that warms your heart, and you know you're warming others. It's and you know her, right? Everybody knows who this lady is,
My
right?
God.
That's right.
And so I feel, you know.
Minuscule.
I was just thinking that, because we
You want
have.
to do a rolling home?
That's exactly what I was thinking. We need to
Before
do.
you start, I just wanted you to say, like, you have a purity, a joy, a pure joy that I think, again, like you were saying, Molly, people don't necessarily know that they're missing out on this. But here we
Yeah.
are being so captured by your commitment and your attention and intention to tell these stories. That is what gets people to be quiet and listen, because we're
you.
rapt.
Thank you.
Because you
Wow,
have
thank
this,
you.
this contagious
And I'm hearing it
joy.
from the program director of this place. Jesus. Well, that's can we put that on the wall?
You guys are funny.
She gets it. She gets it. And
That's
she's the
right.
right person to get it, too.
Thank you for just lifting me up tonight. You're making me feel
Yay.
so good about myself.
I'm so glad.
Well,
Our
don't you all
pleasure.
agree? I mean, take the lead. Would you know?
Yeah, right?
See, they don't make you say anything. I don't make you agree to anything.
She invited us. It's lovely, lovely. Well, this is a song that we love to end our shows with every Sunday night, Sunday at Sea at 7 on Facebook Live, and then it's posted later on YouTube on the Mark Allen Lovewell channel. If you look up Mark Allen Lovewell in YouTube, you'll find a gazillion old recordings of our hour-long shows, hour-ish long shows every week. And we always end with this song. It was discovered, right, by Gail Huntington, who is like all over this museum as a
And his
local.
house is where he used to live. You can see from this window, I think. I think you can see it from his old house. Somebody else has taken it and trophied it. But
But he did a wonderful.
he was wonderful. And he and his wife, Mildred, also a couple that I talked about. You know, Mildred worked at Chilmark Town Hall while her husband Gail went fishing, but he was also a history and a Latin teacher at the Tisbury School. And he was also the founder of the Intelligencer, which is a publication of the Martha's Vineyard Museum back then when it was known as the Dukes County Historical Society. Gail was lovable. He walked the streets of Martha's Vineyard as you and I walk the streets, and yet his legacy is bigger than us. I learned more about Gail when I was in college in New York City because folk music, he's the author of this amazing book called Songs the Whalemen Sang.
And one of the most amazing things that he did, unlike a lot of other song collectors, was that he took the time to write down the tune. Because a lot of other people collect, oh, these are wonderful folk songs, and here's the wonderful lyrics, thinking, oh, well, everybody knows the tune. Yeah, but guess what? They get forgotten. He wrote down the notes.
Visualize in your
books
mind
have
that a
tunes.
song disappears
Yeah,
when you don't sing it.
yeah.
That when the person finishes singing a song and walks out of the room, the song is gone. Now, of course, we now have recordings and recording ability to do that. But what Gail did was he collected them together, and he did an album, and he just celebrated
And
fellows.
two thick books.
And the other gift is that he pushed me to sing sea shanties. I was doing folk music. I was doing sea shanties. I was doing all this and that. And he said, Mark, sing sea shanties. Nobody else is. And he was huge. And I'm wonderful, wonderful legacy. And Mildred
This is
was
a great
even,
one.
Mildred, I'll say, was even worse. Because when Gail died before, she would say, Mark, where are you playing? You know, it was that kind of lady.
She was a big supporter.
And their children, their daughter and their family are dear friends of ours. And so what a way to! So of course I've got to honor them with this
We
long
gotta end
song.
with this one.
It's not even. You
And
don't
it's
have
got
to think
a great
about it.
chorus. You're gonna know it in 3 seconds. Just sing along. Call all hands to man the capstan. See the cable running clear.
Spanish maidens. It is time to happy times we've spent together. Happy times
Oh yeah.
I've spent with you.
And you. Rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to Newport. Rolling home, here by the
Round Cape Horn, one frosty morning, and the sails were full of snow. Tighten those sheets and pulling those halyards. Let her off.
and let her go. Rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to Rolling home,
Last verse.
many thousand miles behind us, many thousand miles to go. Ocean bliss, her waves to bring us to that well-remembered shore. Rolling home.
Last chance.
Rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to Martha's Vineyard. Rolling home, dear God, to Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Come all young sailormen, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea. Blow, ye winds, westerly, westerly blow. We're bound to the southward, so steady she goes.